let's do this. We're getting into it today. We're specifically going to tackle how to dominate Instagram as a lawyer. How to dominate Instagram as a lawyer. In case we haven't yet met, I see lots of familiar faces, but in case we haven't yet met, I'm Cara Pryor. I'm the president of James Publishing and the founder of our Marketing Amplifier program. You know, it's true. I'm constantly getting questions from attorneys about how to get started, what to post, how to find their voice, how to start generating meaningful business from Instagram. So today we're going to get to all of it. And what better way to learn the ropes than from the Instagram master himself? We're excited to have attorney Ali Awad back with us again today. Hi, Ali. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me. These are always fun. I love doing these calls.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of fun too. So, you know, just to give you some background, I think most of you are familiar with Ali, but he's built his $15 million personal injury firm using social media. And he's certainly kind of cracked the code on generating new clients using video, using social media. He's at CEO Lawyer on Instagram, where he's super informative, super entertaining. He's attracted more than 1.6 million loyal followers on Instagram. So he certainly knows what he's doing. He's going to take us through kind of the steps that got him to where he is today. These are simple steps that you too can follow to get on a similar path to growth. And like I said, feel free to ask those questions in the chat anytime. We'll answer as many of them as we can. Okay, so Ali, like I said, I think, you know, most folks on this call are kind of familiar with your story, but for those who are joining us for the first time, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your law firm's growth, so they get an idea of kind of where you're coming from.
Awesome. My name is Ali Awad, and I help injured people make a wad of money. That name started as a joke, but it's kind of evolved into a real brand over time. I'm best known for my social media marketing on Instagram. But one thing that a lot of people forget about is that I actually spent years learning how to become an effective personal injury lawyer before really marketing myself. And the questions that come up constantly are, how do I grow my brand? How do I get more followers? How do I get more engagement? And while that is important, your skills, your underlying skills are far more important, because you will find that generating clients is not the hard part once you go down the marketing path. It's the fulfillment that's the hard part. So I highly recommend that before you scale up, you skill up. Increase your skills before you try to scale your business. You'll be so thankful that you do that, because it's almost like building a house on no foundation. Get that infrastructure built before you go up, and you'll be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think sometimes attorneys forget that. It seems like common sense, right? But you know, when we're just kind of jumping in and not having that foundation in place, it can be really kind of tough to grow. Ali, what were some of those early lessons you learned when really kind of just starting to create those videos? What advice would you have for those who are just starting out? Because I know we have quite a few attorneys on this call now who are just starting out, or, you know, really looking to kind of get into the game. What advice would you have off the bat?
So I was talking to a first-year law student just this morning, and he had 4 questions prepared for me. And the first question that he asked was, how do I market myself? And being a first-year law student, you probably think that you're in a position where no one really cares about what you have to say. You're not really a lawyer. You can't really advertise yourself, you know, pursuant to the bar rules. You're not allowed to present yourself as an attorney, but you're always allowed to share information. And that's the missing piece that so many lawyers, so many professionals miss, is that you need to give people information throughout your journey of growth. Even if you're a first-year law student, you're preparing for the bar exam, you just graduated, you're in your first year of practice, every single one of those obstacles is an opportunity for you to market yourself and show the journey that you're going through. So take a step back and think about first year of law school. This was a really difficult time for many people, especially me, because I wasn't really a very studious person. I was forced to learn how to study. And during that time, I remember that I would always share snippets of what I learned in class. Contracts. Hey, here are the requirements of a contract: duty, breach, causation, damages, right? Sorry, that's torts, not contract. Because I'm a tort lawyer. That's all I think about. But same with torts, same with civil procedure, same with property law. Every opportunity that I get to share something about what I'm learning in law school, I share it online. And the point of this is that you are building a following in that process. When people, especially your friends and family, you know, I've always been I've always been shocked by why people want to try to get new clients and new followers and new attention to their page before they even have captured the existing friends and family that they already have. So start with the people that you already have. Every single one of you probably has 500 to 2,000 followers on Facebook, friends on Facebook. Well, if those people need you for a particular service and they don't hire you, then you have failed at marketing. You need to start with those people because those people ideally already know you, already like you, and it's your job to make them trust you by showing your credibility and your qualifications as a lawyer. So the way that you build a brand, the fastest way to build a brand is to do it slowly. The fastest way to get to where you want is by doing it slowly. Take time out of your day consistently to show people what you have going on, share these wins, share these losses. People really like stepping in and giving you constructive criticism and feedback. Even if you don't need it, give people an opportunity to give you feedback. Example, I just opened up my law practice. Today's my first day hanging out my own shingle. What name do you think I should use? What logo do you think looks best? Hey, what photo should I use for my promotional materials? Man, today's the first full year of business and it's been way more of a struggle than I thought. I'm curious, what have you guys done to build your businesses, or what do you recommend that I do more of on social media? Now, you might not necessarily need that feedback, but people love giving you constructive criticism. So use those opportunities for engagement along the journey. Even if it's once a month, you're going to look back and realize that you are building a foundation every step of the way. So whether you're in year 1 of your practice or year 21 in your practice, you still have an opportunity to grasp the existing friends and family that you've built over the years, those connections, to foster those relationships, build upon them. And then once you've captured all of those, that's when you start advertising. That's when you start inviting those people to your business page, having them like and follow your page, and then marketing to them and to their followers. And that's how it grows. Everything that is big today has once started small. Amazon, Apple, these massive companies all started from garages. There's no difference with your law firm, and there's no difference with me. I started from the trunk of my car. So it's not that I've built a $20, $30 million law firm by doing one thing and that's the secret sauce. There's no secret. You just have to keep doing it. You have to share your journey, share your story, and understand that what happened 30 years ago or 50 years ago when people say word of mouth is the best form of marketing, that still rings true today. Social media is just word of mouth on steroids. So when you can share your content and share your journey and share your wins and your losses and share the opportunity for people to give you constructive criticism and feedback, these are all potential wins. And these are all building blocks for the foundation of a lifelong brand. And the beautiful thing is you can decide to turn it off whenever you want. We cut our ad spend by 60% the first few months of the year because we were actually getting way too many clients, way too many cases. We were not able to fulfill like we really wanted to. So I cut my ad spend. You can't do that with billboards, radio, TV ads. You're locked into that contract. But you can quickly turn off your Facebook ads, your Google ads, your YouTube ads, and start back up whenever you're ready. That's why I'm such a huge proponent and a huge fan of digital marketing.
Yeah, Ali, I think, something that you touched on is super important. It requires some patience, and so many of the attorneys I speak with, they want sort of that quick fix, what's going to get the phone ringing today, right? And then they post 5 or 10 videos. They don't see
not what gets
happen.
the phone ringing. Yeah, that's not what gets the phone ringing. That's branding. Okay, so there's a difference between brand recognition and lead generation.
Right.
There are tons of companies out there that will sell you leads.
Right.
Okay, and I'll be honest, that's how I started. I actually allocated, I think it was like $45,000 for my marketing budget to buy leads from this company that is no longer in business now. And I compared it to the quality of the cases that I was getting through social media. So first, there's a difference between lead generation and brand recognition. Most of the time, what you're doing on social media is building a brand. You're going for that recognition. You're getting those impressions. You want people to see your face. Lead generation has the specific purpose of generating clients for your business. So what's a billboard? It's brand recognition. It's not lead generation. What's a social media video? It's usually brand recognition. What's billboard, TV, radio ads? These are all brand recognition, because these are forms of media that are designed to keep you on top of mind awareness. What's lead generation? This is more a proactive type of business. This is where there's a specific subset of customers that need your particular service, and you put your product, you put your advertisement in front of them. They click on a link, they call you, they fill out a sub form, and they are able to become represented by your firm. That's lead generation. You have to focus on both.
Yep.
Social media will build you a massive brand. You have a tremendous opportunity, especially with TikTok today. I know this topic is all on Instagram, but TikTok today has a huge opportunity. I just hired a TikTok manager just like an hour ago. And all she's going to do full time every single day is just crush TikTok videos. And most people would think, hey, it's kind of crazy to spend $60, $70, $80,000 a year to hire someone to help you build up your TikTok. But long term, I'm thinking, what's it going to cost? What's the ROI of building this brand and building this following? And how many cases do I really need? And more importantly, can't I continuously remarket to these people? If you're trying to make money, the worst thing you can do is start a business, because when you open up a business, you're going to lose money in the beginning. And if you're looking just for quick clients and you're just trying to buy leads from companies, it is a quick fix, but it's just putting a Band-Aid over this gnarly scratch, right? And the only way to fix that is by really taking care of it. And that's why branding is king. And best example of this is last year, my Instagram page got shut down for like 2 weeks. We didn't have any change in the amount of cases and the amount of leads that were coming in, because people were still following me on Facebook. They were following me on TikTok. Google has very, very strong search for CEO lawyer. As soon as you Google CEO lawyer, everything pops up because I built a brand. And so I encourage people, if you're trying to really, really last in this business and you want to be here for more than 5 years, don't go after the lead gen. Maybe a maximum of 20 to 30% of your ad budget and your marketing budget should go to lead generation, just because it gives you the opportunity to tap into different business that you may not be able to reach with your existing marketing efforts. Like, I don't think, me being the way that I look and the type of person that I am, I don't think the older American conservative male audience or female audience is going to really resonate with my message. I'm high energy, high pitch. I talk about being Muslim and talk about being Arab all the time. And I don't think that's going to really resonate with that subset of people. But those same people are not available with lead generation services, like for the Muslim population, Arab population, the people that I can easily get clients from. So it's good to diversify, right? And you never know, if all of your pages get shut down, all of your Google Ads accounts get locked up, it's good to have that other source of potential clients, so you can just turn on that lead gen cannon and turn it off whenever you want. So understand that branding is a long-term game and lead gen is a short-term play. And very rarely are you going to get lead gen is going to lead to branding, although branding does lead to lead generation.
Such a critical distinction. I mean, there are so many misconceptions there. Yeah, definitely. So just to be clear, when you talk about lead gen, you're talking about purchasing leads, you're talking about PPC ad campaigns, right? So, those kinds of efforts. Yeah, right. So, segueing perfectly into what you just said. So, branding sort of playing into lead gen. How long would you say it kind of took before you did start to generate some leads from social media? And do you know what % of your clients now come from social marketing?
So in 2018, my first full year in business, I spent a total of $6,698 on social media ads and generated $3.2 million in settlements for my firm. That was over $1 million in attorney's fees. Now, obviously, a 47,000% ROI is fantastic, but that's not really sustainable as you start growing your business and realizing that there are ceilings to advertising. So one thing that you need to keep in mind as you're growing your business is that the metrics that you see on social media and the clients that will say, oh, I saw your ad on Facebook, or I saw you on Instagram, or I saw you on TikTok, that doesn't take into consideration that other people that are following your page may have recommended you to another lead or to a friend or a family member. So look for the long-term play in branding and building your reputation online instead of just the dollar per dollar case acquisition cost, cost per lead, cost per case. That's what I would focus on.
Yeah.
And just to kind of double down on that, my cost per case on Facebook right now, based on my metrics, is $3,000 per case. But just so you know, we take into consideration the cost of our intake department. We have 6 full-time intake people. We have 2 virtual assistants that handle my social media. And then we have another 2 VAs that basically work our receptionist. And then the 2 office assistants, right, for backup calls. And our media team is included in that mix. Any normal lawyer would say $3,000, unless you're on the West Coast, because California is expensive. Any normal lawyer would say $3,000 a case is a ripoff. Don't do it. But I know that there's something called small data and not just big data. You can't just focus on the numbers. You have to understand the story and the overall growth in your brand. So the deeper you go into your data, you'll realize, okay, I got 17 new referrals last month. Well, this time last year, I had 9 referrals last month. Well, what changed? Did I start going to more events? Did I start hanging out with more people? Did I just create more family members? No. The friends and family members that you've been marketing to on social media are now recommending you to other people. Those people may not have seen you on Facebook or Instagram, but the purpose of that brand is to build an ecosystem of word of mouth referrals. And that's how it actually works. So to answer your question, when did you start seeing referrals and leads? Immediately. I started seeing results immediately. I started seeing cases and clients immediately, but that wasn't my intention. My intention was not to get cases. My intention was to build a brand and educate people. And that's what I'm continuously doing now. I don't have advertisements. I mean, I have a few, but most of the ads that I run on social are just legal education. And that's why it's winning. That's why it works, because everyone else is advertising. Everyone else is like, hey, if you'd like to fight for maximum compensation, give us a call. Or they'll use like a very generic photo and it'll be the same landing page, the same template, the same ad copy. And you're missing the point of social media. No one is ever going to share that content. So yeah, if your intention, it's just like with money. The more you chase it, the more it flees from you. If you focus on building a brand and providing value to your audience by educating them, giving them something that they otherwise wouldn't know in a short, consumable format, that is valuable to them. And they will reciprocate by following your page and recommending you to other people. And that should be the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you sort of track the effectiveness of varying tactics, whether it be specific videos, reels, or even just other marketing channels, so you kind of know what to do more of and where to pull back?
So here's my entire social media strategy in hopefully under a minute. I pay attention to the virality of my content. So whenever I get a video that's getting tons of shares, and that's the main metric that I pay attention to, is how often was this video, was this post, was this copy shared? If it was shared more than 10% of my following amount, so right now 8,000 followers on Facebook, more than 800 shares, this is a viral type of content and I have to spend money on it. But I don't always follow the 10% rule. Honestly, if it's shared 20 times, it's viral enough for me. And I use that content and run it as an ad to the audience that was most likely to engage with my post. So first, I invite my friends and family to my business page. Second, I test a lot of different content to see what goes viral. And third, I put ad dollars behind the content that goes viral. And that's how I grow my brand.
So it's a testing sandbox. There's, what is working. Don't just spend money on everything, right? What is working is where you want those ad dollars, right?
Yeah. And it's like always going to be the stuff that you think is not going to work. It's almost always the stuff that you think is not going to work.
Yeah. Well, tell us about one of your top performing videos of all time. Were you surprised that it performed so well? Where did the inspiration come from for it? Can you think of something?
Yeah, I can tell you right now off the top of my head. I mean, if you look at my Instagram now, Instagram just recently changed its algorithm. So the people that have a lot of followers are they're now becoming more a level playing field with new creators. Why? Because Instagram wants to compete with TikTok so that we can get a little bit more attention from new people to join the platform. because they realized there was a plateau in new followers and new people joining the platform. So when I used to get 20, 30, 50,000 views on my videos, now I'll get thousands of views, and it doesn't deter me. Like, yeah, it kind of makes you feel like, well, what's the point of having 1 million followers if you're only getting a couple thousand views? Well, if you scroll down enough, you'll see that one of my videos just recently hit over 1 million views organically on Instagram. And the reason I talk about TikTok a lot is because it's easy to go viral on TikTok still. On Instagram, it's a lot harder. So recently we discovered that car crash videos are obviously, it has a voyeuristic element to it, right? People like looking at car crashes. The reason there's a lot of traffic when there's a car crash is because people are slowing down to see what happened. So a lot of the videos that we create on social media are a car crash. And the more that it has like a live dash cam view, the higher the likelihood that people are going to engage. So the videos that I have on my Instagram that are getting 1 million plus views are usually those car crash videos, and it's completely organic. So what do you do when you have that type of content? You run it as an ad and let the algorithm pick who wants to see it. You don't have to target a specific audience as long as it's within a demographic or a geographic location. Target that video to a specific subset of audience in a geographic location. Let Instagram, Facebook, TikTok decide who they want to see that video, because the more people that see it, the more you're likely to spend money, the more you're going to keep investing in that platform. And then have the call to action be to follow your page. That's how you get new followers, and that's how you retarget them with new content.
Lenny just asked, do you have any specific companies that you'd recommend for lead gen?
No, honestly, all of them are full of shit, because here's what they do. Here's what they do. They want to loop you in. So they'll bring you in the beginning, and there's so many out there. I don't really recommend lead generation, because here's the thing. You know what's the most important thing about running your practice and bringing the right clients in? The most important part of doing a client service business is that your clients need to trust you in order to fulfill on the product or service that you have. And so if you're buying leads from a company where people have no idea who you are, you're in this endless cycle of trying to convince this prospective client that you're the right fit for them. And as a result, the values tend to drop, because the case value is going to go lower when you're spending more time on the case, you're putting more resources into it, and the likelihood of them terminating you or going somewhere else are exceptionally high, because they don't know you from Joe. So buying leads is a short-term bad solution. Investing in your brand is long-term. So instead of giving a lead generation company $10,000, hire someone to record 10 videos for you and spend $500 to $1,000 on each of those videos, and tell me you're not signing up clients from that. I promise you will.
Yeah. And I mean, so much screening is required too, quite often when you're purchasing leads, right? I mean, you don't even, they don't know anything about you when they come in. They haven't gone through, any sort of, screening process. So, you or your paralegal or someone in your office might be wasting a lot of time just screening out those folks that you can't even help or you don't even want to help.
Well, here's how they sell it to you, right? Like if you're a personal injury lawyer, they'll say, hey, look, we charge like $600 per lead, right? And we have a 20% conversion rate. So that means, yeah, your cost per case is going to be $3,000, but it's a mixed bag. So you might get that tractor trailer case that settles for $1 million. And then there you go. That's your advertising budget for the whole year. That's called whale hunting. Yeah. Everyone in the world is whale hunting. But if you have a small fisherman's boat, you can't even handle that whale. So you might as well invest in fishing slowly, get those small fish, bring them in, go back to shore, sell them, invest in a bigger boat, go out, bigger fishing rod, better bait, go get you a bigger fish, and continue building so that when you have the capacity to handle a whale, you can.
Right.
And anytime that you're just looking at the likelihood of, oh, well, maybe one case might make up for everything else, that's called wishful thinking. That's not a marketing strategy. So don't buy into it.
Yeah, you were talking about the accident videos. Julie asks, what's a good source to get those accident videos? Where are you finding those?
Literally YouTube. Every single one of our videos has the YouTube caption, so you know exactly where we found it. So we give credit to the creator.
Yeah, good. Ali, probably the top objection I hear from attorneys about why they haven't really quite yet taken advantage of social media to grow their firm is that they don't have the time. They're always putting out fires, handling pressing client matters. They might be solo, small firms dealing with personnel. They feel like they just can't dedicate themselves to shooting and posting videos. So I'm curious, just how much time did you personally invest maybe each week in creating your social videos and posts when you were kind of just starting out? I know obviously now you have a team helping you. It's kind of evolved into a more involved operation, but give us a little bit of insight there. Any maybe time management tips that you might have?
That's not the right question. The right question is not, can you afford to do videos and build your social media brand? The question is, can you afford to not do videos and build your social media brand? Because here is the trend of attorneys nationwide. We have 1.3 million lawyers in the United States. Let's say 10% of them are actual competitors, 130,000 lawyers. There's 347 markets, DMAs, that comprise the United States. So in any given market, you're going to have 1,000 or so serious lawyers that may be in the bigger cities like Atlanta. You're going to have a lot more competition. That's why the cost per case continues to increase. And every year they're pumping out more lawyers. I sat in the bar exam with like 7,000 people. So every year they're pumping out more lawyers. And the amount of cases doesn't increase at the same trajectory as the amount of lawyers that are entering the market. So who do you think those cases are going to when new members are entering the market, new competition is joining the workforce, and they've known Susie and Sally from down the street as neighbors for 20 years. And they just started putting out content on social, educating people about their legal knowledge and the court cases that they have and this crazy deposition that they had or this cool new settlement or how to deal with this awesome client. Do you think they're going to go for that big box store and the billboard attorney that they see on the interstate? Or do you think they're going to go with the person that they know, like, and trust? Well, that's your market. Those 500 to 2,000 people that are your Facebook friends and family, that's who you need to focus on. And if anyone that's watching this video can confidently say that 100% of your friends and family on your Facebook page will hire you because they know exactly what you do when they need your services, if you're 100% confident that all of your friends and family would do that, then I'll rest my case and say, you know what, you're doing just fine. But I can't even confidently say that because there's no limit to the amount of content that you can create. There's no limit to how many potential people may need your services. And you can decide how big of a business you want to have, but don't think that this is a business or a strategy where you have to do an exorbitant amount of work that's not going to give you any sort of ROI. Your goal is to keep these other competitors from taking your existing friends and family and your contacts. How many times have you ran into your neighbor or your friend or an old colleague and they had a case where you should have been their lawyer? You know why they went somewhere else? Is because you failed at marketing. And all you had to do was just share, literally just talk about what happened that day in court, or this beautiful young Honduran family that came in and felt like you took care of them so well and they invited you to come have pupusas at their house or whatever. Like, these are stories that you have an opportunity to share. And don't tell me that you don't have time to create videos. Everyone has 1 minute per day. And if you have a face for radio, you don't have to do videos. You can create content with just the captions. Have a picture of you standing outside or with a client standing outside their home, or a picture of a settlement check and cover the checking account number, and then have a beautiful caption underneath it and say, to you, this might just look like a normal check, but to me, this was the proudest moment of my life. And here's why, right? Or the proudest moment of my career. If you're married or you have kids, you don't want to say that, right? So take advantage of what you're good at. Lean into the things that you're good at. I happen to enjoy being on video. I've always wanted to be an actor. I love being engaging and having fun. This is my charisma and my character, my personality. It's all video. But I don't have the best voice for audio, for radio. So my radio content doesn't work as well. My podcast doesn't really perform as well. I'm still doing it to try to get better. I have to actually go a little bit deeper so I don't sound as squeaky, right? And I have to practice on getting better. The same way you're going to have to practice in your particular medium. So whatever you're good at, lean into that first. If you're great at taking photos, lean into that. If you're great at captions and writing, which all of you are lawyers, you should be good at writing, lean into that. And if you're great at video and you love social media, lean into that. The point is not to just create videos and force yourself into doing something. The point is to find what you're going to enjoy the most and make it part of your normal marketing sequence. And that's what I did early on. And I just kind of kept building on those skills. And that's why, I have a 8-figure practice today.
And Ali, I mean, it's really about finding their own voice too, right? Not trying to be sort of a character or someone that they're not, because I think that authenticity, is what, we're kind of striving for on social media, right? It's maybe you're not comfortable on video at first, but the more you do something, the more confident you get, the more comfortable you are. You might fumble through it for a while, right? But at some point, it will likely turn. You'll get better at it. You'll get more confident, and you'll see that engagement and that response that I think, really can have an impact. Jim asks, I have a personal Instagram account, which I've never used. How do I convert it to a business Instagram account?
You just go in settings and convert it to a professional account or a business account.
There's no real process.
You have to, if it's a private account, and that's another thing. If any of you are using Instagram and your account is private, it's literally like having a brand new supermarket that you just opened and having the front doors locked. Like you need people to come in and buy your stuff. So have your account on public. And hey, here's the thing. No one has seen a picture of my kid on social media. No one knows what my baby looks like. It's, this is mine. This is for me, right? I don't share that much stuff about my parents or my wife and, my family. People don't know where I live. Like, these are things that are for me. Like, I keep the best things for me. So I don't have to share everything with you, nor do you know when I'm on vacation. You don't know when I'm traveling. You don't know, because that's what I want to do. You don't have to share things that you don't want to share. And so there's this common misconception that oh, well, if I make my account public, then they're going to see everything, only the stuff that you want people to see.
Right. No, that's actually a really good point. Yeah. That can be overlooked. Lenny noticed that TikTok bans accident videos. Have you experienced that?
Tons. Yeah. I'm like shadow banned on TikTok right now. In fact, I just created a new TikTok account for 706 Abogado, like in my Spanish content, and it's growing faster than my English page that I've had for 2 years because I haven't posted any car crash videos. So Instagram is a lot more lenient than TikTok is with car crash videos. So yeah, be careful with that. But understand that both, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are all competing for attention. So anytime you create a vertical video, go ahead and share it as a YouTube short, as an Instagram reel, and as a TikTok video. So you get triple the exposure. And also if you're brand new to building a social media following, your story doesn't matter. There's no reason for people to really care about you and what you do and what you think until you give them a reason to care. And you do that by educating them on something that they otherwise wouldn't have known. And I'll give you all some game right now. Let me give you some strategies that you can implement right now. The easiest way to create viral videos is by talking about criminal defense and specifically DUIs. You might be a personal injury lawyer. I promise you, your DUI checkpoint videos are going to get hundreds of thousands of more impressions than your personal injury stuff. You know why? Because personal injury is boring. Because people don't care about car accidents until it actually happens to them. So I have that, like the apple that's like hanging, like I dangle that carrot with criminal defense and DUI content to get them to follow my page and engage. And then I retarget them with personal injury content. So if you start a video by literally saying, here's what you need to do if the police pulls you over. And that's literally how you start your video, and literally say whatever you want for the next 3 points. And you do that video 10 times, I promise you one of them is going to go viral. I promise you. I'll pay you if it doesn't go viral.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, yeah, it's true. We talk a lot about personal injury attorneys specifically finding success on Instagram, right? And
well, Cara, let me tell you this. The reason personal injury lawyers don't find success on Instagram is because they're using social media as a lead generation platform and as an advertising platform instead of a branding platform.
Right. Right.
So you have to build a brand and understand that it's okay to pivot over time and change your brand, but you don't need tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. You just need your current group, your core friends and family to recommend you to their friends and family. And that's enough for you to have a multi-million-dollar business. That's all you need to focus on. And once you've mastered that, you have the financial capacity to throw money into other things and see what sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. So a question is, what about other areas of law? Do you think there's as much opportunity for estate planners, maybe family law attorneys, et cetera, on Instagram, on social media?
Credit repair. I think actually I have a bankruptcy lawyer or a tax lawyer. I have a tax lawyer in my academy, and she's crushing it, dude. And all she's doing is just educating people on how to basically pay less taxes and use different strategies to lower their tax burden. So tax law does really, really well. Bankruptcy, here's my problem with bankruptcy is like they advertise it as like debt relief when it's really like they're scared of talking about bankruptcy. So why not lean into it the opposite direction and say, hey, here's how you can use bankruptcy to your advantage. You should not be scared of bankruptcy. Here's why. Boom, 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 boom. If you have this kind of debt, and so I think you can create a ton of content around whatever practice area. I don't do as much content in bankruptcy, tax, credit repair, all that stuff. I'll touch on it from time to time, but I've just found, and after doing thousands of videos, criminal defense, specifically with DUI and dealing with police, especially when we're at a heightened like political atmosphere, those videos go crazy. So I just stick to those. But if you're great at bankruptcy, tax law, credit repair, or criminal defense, all those videos will do way better than personal injury. Why? Because they're much more likely to be shared.
Yeah, that's good. So we have some good questions. So let's keep going. Sheriff asks, what's your opinion on people who buy followers and or likes for their Instagram account?
I think there's a couple of different ways that people buy followers. You can do giveaways where you're using a massive page and you pay them $5,000, $10,000, and it costs you basically like an average of like 10 cents per follower to do those giveaways. There is a very good strategy for doing that. And you should focus on the type of influencer that you use. So don't go and just like use a Portuguese influencer that's going to get you, an extra 500,000 followers from Brazil, because you're not going to benefit from those unless you're an immigration lawyer that happens to speak Portuguese. So buying followers from this type of influencer is not a good idea. Spending significantly more money on a higher quality follower base, like if you're based in Detroit and you know that there's this like super hardcore celebrity in Detroit that everyone loves, and you can do a collaboration with that person, that video is worth $100,000. And you should get all of those Detroit followers because that's your ideal audience and that's where you want to get. And anyone that knows how to take advantage of that is genius, because buying followers is good for business if you're buying the right type of followers. But using bots to communicate and like extra fake accounts to beef up your numbers, that's a horrible strategy for building your page, because it's going to dilute the amount of actual followers that are going to see your content. So influencer shout outs, good, but you have to do it the right way. Make sure you're buying quality influencer shout outs. And that's no different from getting a sponsorship on the radio or these big companies having an NFL or NBA athlete promote their product. It's no different. It's the same exact thing. But you have to focus on what's the ideal type of audience. So if you're a criminal defense lawyer in South Dakota, you probably don't want to run a Super Bowl commercial nationwide. You probably just want to run to that specific DMA where you're going to get those ideal clients. You want to have a fantastic commercial for that time. That's super high ROI for the amount of brand recognition that you get. The same concept applies. So don't beef up the numbers just for no reason. It's better to get those quality followers in the beginning and spend money to grow that page. But like I said, the easiest way is to get organic followers by giving them viral content like how to deal with tax issues, what you can do to maximize your bankruptcy, how to deal with police officers when you're at a DUI checkpoint. These are all things that have consistently performed well, and they will outperform buying followers or influencer shout outs 100% of the time.
Yeah, great. That's great. Someone asks, should I post about religious events if the lawyer is Jewish, for instance? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm Muslim and I have Ramadan starting in like a week and a half. So you know what? I've noticed that I get more respect from my Muslims and non-Muslim friends when I post about my religion, because it's like, I'm not going to change the person that I am once I have more money or more friends or more fame. And by the way, you don't get more bold when you have more money. You become more enclosed and like insecure. So I highly encourage you to lean into it. Now, I don't think you should get too political where you're obviously, walking into a fire. But yeah, I think talking about your religion and your culture, especially in a respectful and an educational way, I think people like that. And I found I'm Palestinian. So everyone knows about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. I have way, way, way too many Israeli friends that have come to find me from social media because they respect how I talk about Palestine and how we're just talking about peace. And so I have tons of Jewish friends and tons of Israeli friends that are coming from social media by posting about Islam and my religion. Yeah, you'll have some people that'll like obviously hate on you, and that's okay. And you'll probably have some people that are hate on you posting Jewish content or Christian content or whatever the case may be. Those people will never be your clients anyway. So you might as well walk them out the door.
Yeah, exactly. Important to remember. This is an interesting question. The fact that a lawyer shows his or her face and interacts with potential clients will improve the profile more than the employees interact. So I think the question is, should the attorney be the face of the firm, or I think that's a question. Magdalena, if I'm misunderstanding that, just let us know. But
I haven't seen a firm successfully advertise and build a brand on social media. And that's only because no one has really tried to dominate that niche and be like, hey, we're the firm that everyone follows. Obviously, there's some massive firms in the country, some that are doing, high 9 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures. But they still have the face of the organization. Usually the ones that are hiding behind a name don't perform as well. So I do think that the CEO of the company, or at least the leadership, should be involved. And if you have partners where you have like 2 people, 3 people, and you like all of them are like popular, then yeah, lean into that. But I don't think employees, and here's the danger of advertising your employees, because they could become your competition. So unless they're like your blood or your family, it's like, you're not going anywhere. But there's the best example I can think of is Morgan & Morgan in Florida. Well, he advertised Dan Newland for many, many years and thought, well, we're going to make Dan Newland like the face of all of our billboards. Oh, they had a falling out. Dan Newland decided to open up his own firm. And now Dan has one of the top 5 personal injury law firms in Florida. And he did that because of the marketing advertising budget that Morgan & Morgan pushed to promote Dan Newland. So now you'll see that they don't promote any of their other lawyers on any of their other channels. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying I'm the best in my firm at my videos, and that's why I do it, So I have no problem advertising my team and making them famous, but there's a reason why, the CEO lawyer logo looks like me,
Right. Emily asks, I work with an agency. Many of our clients are solely personal injury. Is there a strategy to apply in these more boring cases? I think that's a good question, because I think sometimes attorneys aren't sure how to kind of deliver that entertainment value.
I think people underestimate the value of testimonials. I think getting your clients to talk about how great you are is way better than you blowing your own horn. So the best strategy that I can give you, if you're a personal injury lawyer and you want to grow your fan base and your follower base, is to have video testimonials and video capability at your firm anytime someone is coming to pick up a settlement check, because those stories are going to resonate with people that have been in similar situations. And if you have a strong foundation and strong relationship with those clients, they're going to say things that you could never say on video, because you don't want to seem like you're, promoting yourself. So it sounds weird if you're like, yeah, I'm the best. You want someone else to say that you're the best. That's how you know that you're the best. So using testimonials is a huge way to drive traffic and drive business to your practice, especially if that person is likely to share that on their social media as well.
Yeah, Holly, we actually recently started shooting video testimonials on behalf of our Marketing Amplifier subscribers. We're shooting a ton of them. So our subscribers just let us know when they have a past client they think would make for a great video testimonial. We just jump on a Zoom, similar to what you and I are doing now, ask them some pointed, direct questions to pull out really compelling, positive video testimonial, have a quick edit on it, and to have the growing collection of video testimonials. I mean, who's going to describe the value and really what it's like working with the attorney better than, those satisfied past clients? I think that's really good advice. Actually, let me mention too, I think because I had some questions on the side too. Most of you know about our Marketing Amplifier program. I actually see a lot of our subscribers on today, but you really do gain access to pretty massive libraries of branded FAQ content. We include lead magnets, email follow-ups, newsletters, but we also shoot custom videos for you every week and build your social media presence. So, of the dozens of lawyers I speak to every week about their marketing, really few of them have the time to shoot and post those videos on their own. So if you need help implementing the advice that we're talking about here today, we can certainly help. We've really designed our Amplifier program so that your participation is limited to a 30-minute monthly Zoom shoot. We take care of everything else. We have a team of in-house video editors, conduct dozens of shoots every week. So we've really kind of dialed in the process, streamlined it. Just wanted to mention that while we were on the topic. Let me actually, in the chat, I'll share my direct scheduler link. If you want to learn more, feel free to set an appointment with me. I'll share examples of videos, social posts that we've created. I'm also happy to just answer any legal marketing questions that you have. I've been helping lawyers with their marketing for many, many years, so I love talking about what works, but feel free to set an appointment directly with me there. Also, so Ali, we have a specific question about kind of balancing personal brand and the firm account. Do you recommend having separate profiles for personal and for the firm? How do you kind of balance? I know this is a great question for you because I know kind of what you've been through here, but tell our audience a little bit about that journey for you.
I'm going to say something that's a little controversial here, but it's the truth. Having a law firm brand page on social media is a waste of time. It's better to just put everything all on your personal brand and run that as a business page, as a professional account, instead of telling people, oh, follow our law firm page for more news. You know who's following your law firm page? All of your competitors to see what you're doing. And then maybe some of your employees. You're not going to get results. And now you're diversifying, you're splitting up your efforts. Get everyone to one channel. The biggest mistake I see people make is they want to have 5 different brands when they're starting at once. I actually just got rid of Ali Awad Law completely. After 5 years of having my practice, which was called Ali Awad Law, I just changed it to CEO Lawyer because CEO Lawyer is actually the brand, not Ali Awad Law. It's this digital brand is what's bringing in all of these clients and growing in awareness. So scrap your law firm page, put everything into your personal brand.
I love that. Hadi asks, what kind of AI or technology do you use in your firm to maximize efficiency? And what technology do you think will change the game?
That's too loaded of a question. Yeah. If I don't know what your practice area is, what the size of your business is. Yeah. I mean, are you a PI lawyer? What's the size? What are your revenue numbers? How many
give us a little more info. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, here's the thing.
PI, she says.
Okay, so virtual assistants are one step towards automation. Eventually, 5 to 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this video and say, hey, in 2030, 2035, almost everything is automated and service-based industries are not any different. So the best thing that you can do, especially when you're taking into consideration that American employees are demanding more money year after year, you need to outsource and delegate all of the low-level tasks to virtual assistants. We currently have over a dozen VAs in the Philippines, Nicaragua, Honduras, Ecuador, Mexico, Costa Rica. And especially for our Spanish-speaking clients, they handle those exceptionally well. Now, those virtual assistants can handle those low-level tasks, usually between $4 and $8 an hour, and they can do a better job than your American-based employees because they're super thankful for the opportunity to come and work for you. And when we do get to a level of automation, it's a lot easier to get rid of a VA in another country than to tell Susie down the hall after 20 years, it's time to go. So that's why I recommend using virtual assistants.
Yeah, good. Where do you find
Onlinejobs.ph is where you can find the VAs.
Nice, nice.
There's also other companies like, so I currently source my VAs. I have some through onlinejobs.ph. I have several and I'm testing out all these different companies. I don't endorse any particular one yet because no one has done an exceptional job, but the newest company that I'm working with has shown the best promise because they're reasonable and they're on top of it. And they only focus on just virtual staffing for lawyers instead of like for everyone. So I would say hire a virtual staffing company, work with a VA staffing company. First, ask them how many VAs do they have? And if their number is like 500 to 1,000, this is a big company and they're probably not going to give you as high of a quality of a service. Go for those entry-level virtual staffing companies. They're going to go much further to do a better job for sourcing these high quality candidates for you. And if you build a relationship with them early on, you might be able to save a lot of money organizationally.
Good. Okay, so we're kind of getting close to our time here. I know we have a couple questions pending, but Ali, there's undoubtedly attorneys here today who are inspired by what you're doing on social media, what other lawyers have done on social media. What's your top bit of advice, if you could kind of, summarize it to those lawyers who want to do what you're doing? What's that piece of that nugget that you could share with us?
If you won't hire your own mom, or if your mom won't hire you for your services, then get back to the drawing board and get better at what you do first. Don't try to advertise and market and grow your business if you won't feel confident that you wouldn't want your own mom to be your client. And that's the standard. The standard should be your mother would be exceptionally happy, even if she didn't know that you were her son or daughter. She would be exceptionally happy to have you as her representative. That's the standard first. And once you get there, it will allow you to have enough confidence to advertise yourself so much more freely. Because when you have an exceptionally high level of skill in the field that you're in, you will feel bad for people who don't hire you because you're so much better than everyone else. It would be a shame if they didn't hire you when they needed your particular product or service. So don't focus on the advertising. Don't focus on the marketing. Don't worry about the number of followers and views and engagement. All that stuff is just vanity metrics. Focus on the quality of the service that you're providing to your customers. And when you have a service that is so exceptionally better than everyone else, you will personally feel like you're obligated to advertise to everyone. And when you get there, when you're at that point, marketing just becomes second nature because you have to do it, because it's your obligation. It's your moral, ethical duty and responsibility to tell as many people as possible to hire you for your services, because the alternative, they're going to hire someone that's inferior and not get taken care of. So get there first before you worry about everything else.
I love that. I love that so much. Such spot on advice. So Ali, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your invaluable advice with us, your experience. Once again, you are wonderful as always. And if you don't already, be sure to follow Ali on Instagram. Again, he's at CEO Lawyer. You will not be disappointed and you'll certainly learn a lot. So thanks so much for joining us. I know a couple of people asked, yes, you will get the recording of this. Don't worry. We'll send that over shortly later today. And again, thanks, Ali. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Cara.
Thanks. Bye, guys.